Okay, this is Marianne, and she's going to read a letter that the Sheriff Warnke of Merced, California, that's right in the middle of some of the greatest produce that you ever get. A lot of our almonds come from Merced, California. When Trump went out there and saw that a lot of the farms had been shut down because California shut off the water, all to help global warming, okay? I know. And why, I told the sheriffs there 20 years ago, why are you allowing the governor to shut down all these farms? And so, yeah, just more insanity from these wonderful people who want to take care of us. The socialists, yeah.
Such a gentleman. How's everybody doing out there? Yeah? Good. All right. So this letter is lengthy. But what I want to do first is I would like everybody to stand up, if you could, if you can. All right. I think that this great state of Washington that we live in, this great country of the United States, what a privilege it is. What an honor it is to live in this beautiful country. So if you'd all join me, I'd like to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then I am going to read this letter. So, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you so much. You may be seated. So you called it Merced. Is it Merced? I think it's Merced. Or Merced? I don't know. Does anyone know how to pronounce that? Is it Merced? Okay. Well, then you have Sheriff Warnke, which is another name, which is fun. So, okay. I looked that one up just to make sure I could pronounce that correctly. So, this is a letter by Sheriff Warnke, highly critical of the California Governor Newsom in his extended shelter-in-place orders. My official stance regarding this is explained as follows. When this pandemic first came to light and our nation took the stance to shelter in place, I was skeptical, but supported any effort to protect our citizens from this disease. This included having to deal with a local church pastor who defied his order, and as time marched on, it became very apparent that decisions were being made on what could happen, but hasn't come to even close to the predictions that have been made, that are being fed to our citizens. We are going to peak within the next 2 weeks. That has been the battle cry for 2 months. I even went so far as to secure equipment to house all the bodies that were to overrun my county due to COVID, and it still hasn't occurred. Yeah. Based on being what was reported by the governor's office. Guess what? You know what could happen each day? Car crashes, airplane crashes, food poisoning, law enforcement getting ambushed, and I could keep going. But we as citizens continue to face these could-happens each day. The world is a very dangerous place, and when we face it daily, knowing the risks, there in America, we decide which chances to take based on any risk factor, and that includes going to work as a cop for the last 41 years. The Constitution gives that right. I doubt the governor would ever take a job where the dangers are as constant as they are in my chosen profession. But I, along with millions of men and women, do this every day, knowing the risks. Nobody has the right to dictate what risks I'm going to take when I leave my house, and this includes any elected governor. If I go to a business and I feel that the risk is too high, I can make a choice as to whether or not to do business at that establishment. And this includes getting a haircut or a routine dental checkup. When Governor Newsom took to the airwaves and then singled out a county because they didn't follow his orders and threatened them differently, it became obvious to me that this whole lockdown was based upon him being able to have control. Have control over the citizens of this state. He is treating this state's counties as he has claimed to be treated by the president, right? In the very recent past. That statement also pointed out that different counties have different issues and should be treated independently and not covered under one blanket. That statement is a fact whether or not there is a pandemic. He is using the public health director as his authority in an attempt to maintain control over the citizens, based solely on what could happen, keeping in mind that the public health director reports directly to him. Governor Newsom now threatens the different local jurisdictions regarding funding if they don't follow his orders. Didn't he sue the president for holding funding due to him defying the president's orders? Our current situation is reflective of a short statement I recently read that seems to fit here. If the barnyard were to hold an election, the cows, the chickens, the pigs, and the horses would vote for the hand that feeds them, even though that same hand will eventually lead them to slaughter. He says. That's what is happening here in this state, possibly in other states. Economic slaughter is what we are facing because of this continuous behavior to keep this nation's greatest state economy from thriving. The majority of citizens are on the verge of a statewide revolt because they are losing the possibility to regain their businesses because of the tremendous financial loss that they have suffered. I truly believe Governor Newsom's motivation is to have the majority of the citizens and illegal residents dependent on the government's assistance so he can maintain this control once the pandemic is declared over. This is caused based upon a crisis that he himself has caused in this state based on a declared pandemic, on a virus that should have been dealt with on a completely different level. The cure should not be worse than the disease. So the answer that you are looking for is this: I will not be taking any enforcement action in this county for any COVID-19 violations, as the governor has completely disregarded the safety of our citizens by not allowing most felons from even being booked. But then he wants us in law enforcement to arrest people for standing closer than 6 feet or worshiping their religious beliefs in a building like we are right now. My decision is based on the constitutional rights afforded our citizens. And as I, the constitutional law enforcement authority in Merced County, I am here to uphold them. The citizens themselves can make informed decisions on how to proceed and protect their lives and livelihood, and not the governor of their state. Remember that the people elected a governor, not an emperor. Yeah, okay. So now we're going to play, I believe. Do we have a video from him? and then after that, we're going to have lunch. So, yeah. You may dim the lights. Light guy. You're the light guy, right? No? You're deemed the light guy. All right. All right. Don't forget, did everybody sign in when they came in? Yes. And don't forget to be generous and give to this whole event and everything that we have, put forward to do this. So thank you very much.